Yeah, righto, mate. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. If I come out trumps in this one, you owe me a box of beer. All right. Take it easy. See ya. Oh, g'day. Keithy here. Thanks for joining me again for the first mining video of 2023. It's been quite some time since I did one of these mining videos for you guys. There's been a lot of push lately on the mining industry and from you guys as well, looking for jobs, looking for ways to get in the industry, and also looking for information on what you do when you're in the mine. So there's a lot to go through for 2023. I know it's March already, mid-March, but sit back, grab yourself a cup of coffee, guys, a beer if it's after work, and let's go through some stuff for 2023 in the mining industry. Well, we couldn't go without checking this out.
Right, preparing fires now. G'day, Keithy here. G'day, Keithy here. G'day, Keithy here.
All right, so we are here to talk about the what, the where, and the how of the mining industry in 2023. I've had 1 million people, that's an exaggeration. I've had hundreds of people message me and have in-depth conversations on Chilling with Keithy over on Facebook there, so you can get me through that, and through the YouTube videos itself, asking questions on how they can get into the mines. And for a lot of the time, let's say maybe 70% of the time, the answer is very similar. The question is, how do you get into the mines? I want a job in the mines. The answer is usually what, where, and how. So what do you want to do? Do you have something that you know you're in the mines aiming for? Where do you live? Is there some mining and fly in, fly out opportunities close to where you are? And that makes it easy to get to and from. And how? So do you have the skills? All of that kind of thing. So we'll get into them. But before we get into them, I want to talk to you about something that I'm actually quite happy to see getting around, and it's called Torqn. Now, Torqn is an app you get on your phone. And I tell you what, it's heavily based around the mining industry, mining, construction, all of that kind of stuff. Even if you were in like ag and stuff like that, then Torqn is a great place if you wanted to go there and have a bit of a look. I know it is on the Apple Store. I don't know about the other Samsung-y type phones, but it's definitely worth a look. So I'll open it up now and you guys can come and have a look through with me through this Torqn app, because I tell you what, it is such a great app. It's got so many good features. It is essentially like a how-to or a go-to if you are in the industry. It doesn't have to be about machinery. It can be about plant. It can be about parts of plant, repairs. It can be a safety type talk about the industry as well. There's a few of them, which you'll see in a second. It's a really fantastic app. Let's go through that now and you can have a look. Welcome to Torqn. When you open the app, I like how it starts in the all, so you can see all kinds of topics. You see the list up there. We've got operating problems, improvement, safety, and reviews. So we'll go over to the safety first, given that was the first thing that was up on there. There's a couple of safety alerts here put in by Torqn admin. If you click on them, you can read a little bit more information. This one's a Queensland one. It's got to do with gravity feed fuel caps on explosive charge up vehicles. So definitely worth a read if this is something that is relevant to what you're working around or operating, and definitely check that out. This is just an example of one of the things that you can see on Torqn. You can click here and you can add your comments to it. So if you have some relevant information to add to this, then that's where you do it. You can add photos and videos as well in that. Then we move back. We're going to go over to the operating side of Torqn. So you can see Brandon's put one up here. It's a little video about backfilling and curbs. Ernest has got one there about a grader. And you can see Lachlan's got one here about a B45E truck, a Bell truck. He's asking the question here, as you can see, because this truck isn't something that you see in Australia very often. He wants to make sure that he's able to get parts, just having a quick read through that. And he's looking for information on how to get parts for this truck. Now we scroll back up. We'll go over and have a look at problems. So Chris has got a problem there about a 16M grader. It's definitely a good place to go if you do have some problems and you want some answers. If you move over into the improvements tab, you can see here that Chris has put quite a lot of detail into the information that he's put down about the 24 volt charging systems, and there's a lot of labels going on there as well, which is really good for an operator to be able to see and understand what's going on within that machine. And the safety one, we had a quick look at that one before. You can scroll down and see all of the listings that are on here. Obviously this one here wasn't put up by the Torqn team. And then we go over to reviews here, and you can see there's a couple of machines here, just for example, that are being reviewed on this website. So all in all, Torqn offers quite a lot for everybody, and that doesn't just necessarily have to be in the mining industry. If you work in construction as well and do some civil work and you're operating these kinds of machinery, then it definitely would be helpful for you to come across here on Torqn and have a bit of a look at what's going. There's a link in the description for this video where you can download this app, and if you use that, you'll also be able to jump on, sign in, and have a look through, suit yourself, add some comments, add some information. If you've got some information that you can add to anyone with some problems going on, or if you just want to add some operating information, then help yourself. So that's a fantastic app. I hope you go through and have a look, guys. There's plenty of information there. Sign up, go through, and use the link in the description down below if you want to go in the quick way through me. Let's get on to number 3, guys. So we asked about the what, the who, and the how. So let's get into the what first up. What kind of jobs are out there? I get this question quite a lot. There's a lot of people who don't have like a familiar idea of what happens in the mining industry. They want to get into the mines, but they don't know how to do it. What kind of jobs are out there? Well, there's plenty of different types of jobs, ranging from the type of jobs that are admin related. Then you've got jobs in, say, a plant, fixed plant, so that could be surface, or some small plants operate underground as well. Then you've got other things like machinery operators. So you could be a surface machinery operator, underground machine operator. You could be a field operator, so these are like development type jobs there. You've got other ones, I've already mentioned the fixed plant. Then you can go into the workshop and become like a heavy diesel mechanic, a diesel fitter. All kinds of jobs around the diesel fitter type thing, even electricians, from auto electricians right through to heavy electricians. There are plenty of jobs going. Then there's also jobs that sort of go above your average Joe into the sort of supervisory, and then you work your way up into the management team as well. Now I'm not going to talk about the management team type jobs here because I'm just aiming for the threshold where I'm at, which is the targeting the mining jobs. So I'm going to start with the what. What kind of jobs are out there? It's a common question that I get. So in a mine, you can work your way from top to bottom in terms of where you work. You can start up in a processing plant. Some are called concentrators. It depends on where you are or what type of mineral and how it's being treated. They're usually a plant operator's type role. Could also be an electrician or a fitter or a fitter maintainer. You can just be a general labour hire type work role. There are plenty of jobs on machines such as like bobcats, backhoes, small loaders and trucks that operate within the surface plant operations. While you're still on the surface, then there's machinery as well. We're talking the big diggers, we're talking graders, trucks, all of that kind of big stuff in there, bulldozers. If you want to work up on the surface in mining, then surface operational job, that's what you're going to be looking for there. There also comes other type of roles, including maintaining things like, say, tailings dams. So you could be operating machinery at a tailings dam. You could also be surveying. There are many types of jobs on the surface of the mine that involve maintaining and also inspecting things, almost like a plant, but in a larger, much bigger scale, going around to make sure that pumps are operating, all kinds of things like that. Also on the surface, you'll find machinery workshops, so that is working on the big trucks and diggers and all of that kind of stuff. They do need maintenance. They need regular maintenance, and usually that's scheduled. So if you want to sort of go up a notch, you could be involved in the paperwork side, so the scheduling and maintenance type work. Or you could be on the tools yourself. You could be a diesel fitter, electrician. You could also work as a plant-based type electrician, high voltage type stuff there. The world is your oyster really with that kind of stuff. Starting to move a little further down, so if you're already with the surface type roles on the big dump trucks and whatnot, you'll be familiar with an open cut mine. If you're on a slightly smaller type truck, you might be working underground, so there are operational type roles underground as well. Driving trucks, driving boggers, all kinds of things. There are scalies underground, so you need to make sure that there's the walls are safe, the backs they call them, in the underground mine. There's also drillers and offsiders underground as well as on the surface. So that's sort of a multifaceted role there. Some mines are surface, some mines are underground. You need to work that one out. I would say that driller offsider is probably the biggest job that I get asked questions about on the Chilling with Keithy there. And the answer remains the same for me every time. If you need to get in, look for jobs, then we're going to start talking about where you can find these jobs. So we'll move on to the next part of this video and talk about where you can find these jobs. Okay, so we've gone through the what kind of jobs are out there. Now we need to go to the where. Where can you find the jobs? Where are the jobs? So I'll start with where are. We're going to break it down to Western Australia, and sort of we're going to move up the west coast and over to the Northern Territory a little bit as well. Pilbara type area, way up there. Plenty of jobs going in Western Australia at the moment. Western Australia is regarded as the mining industry that pays considerably more than the East Coast can offer. Why is that? Well, I'm no expert here, but what I will add to that is that it does cost a lot more. So the cost of living over in Western Australia is higher than it is on the East Coast. So something to factor in there as well. That said, there are tons and tons of jobs going in Western Australia. If you do a search on the internet, I'm not going to sit here and find exactly the job for you guys, but you can do a simple search, even if you just go on Seek, which is a very easy one to find. Type in Western Australia mining job if you want to go to Western Australia. See what pops up. You can be a little bit more specific if you know what you want to do. We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. So if you move over, you've got South Australia and obviously the East Coast. Now there's a lot of mining going on there. As mentioned before, generally they don't pay as much as what you would get if you're over in WA, but keep in mind there's still quite a good salary working in the mining industry on the East Coast. It's actually considerably better than what your average Joe is going to be getting. What's going in say Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia at the moment? There's plenty of mining jobs going in all types of fields, whether you're operating a machinery, operating the tools, running around in a plant, or even underground yourself, driving the machinery down there. You need to hone in on what you want to do, where you want to do it, and you can sort of nut down a little bit more when you're doing your searches for what jobs are available at the moment. When you are looking for a job, you need to find out a couple of the skills that you can offer as well. So we'll get into that in the fourth topic now. How do you get into the mines? All right, so we've done the what and the where, now the how. How do you get into the job? Like I mentioned before, Seek is one of the easiest places to try and find a mining job. Most mines, not all mines, will offer their jobs up on Seek because it's a national website that you're pretty much guaranteed to find a job of a specific type that you're looking for on Seek. Now, mining jobs, you might find that the jobs are listed on the company itself, on their website, such as BHP, Rio Tinto, for example, just to name a few. There are plenty of mining companies. They are not the only two within Australia. So have a bit of a Google as well. Even if you just Google mining companies Australia or mining Australia, I'm sure you'll find some company names come up, and then they may well have links on their website to jobs, usually if they want to hire people, which 99% of the time there is something going and they will list it on their own website. then that's one really good way to find out where the jobs are. Also, if you're trying to get in on labour hire, that's a really good way. If you haven't got any skills and you haven't got the perfect idea of what you want to do in the mining industry, going through labour hire is a good way to get your feet into the door, get into the mining game, see what it's all about, see what's available there, whether you go in for shutdowns in the mines, whether that is underground or whether it is up on the surface. You can go in, see what it's all about. They'll provide you with some of the skills and knowledge about what's available in the mining industry, and you can make up a better idea of what you want to do in the mines. Work a couple of years as a contractor through those kind of companies. You might even make some contacts in the mine and get your way in the door that way. You can also go home and go, okay, well, I worked here at this particular mine doing this particular role, and I quite enjoyed the area where I was working. I know it's available to be a fly-in fly-out location from where I live. Now then you can hone your search through Seek or whatever website it might be and go and sort of find a job at that mine there. So the others that are going for job interviews, I get a lot of messages on Chilling with Keithy about what to say when I get to a job interview. That would probably close to 10% of the messages that I get on Chilling with Keithy. I'm going for a job in the mines. I've got an interview in 2 weeks, whatever it may be. What are they going to look out for? Okay, so they want to know what you can offer for them. Are you reliable? Are you going to show up on time? Are you a stable long-term employee? Something secure is what they're looking for right there. They also want to see if you can bring something next level to the job as well. So you've got to beat average Joe through the interview. What have you got that you can show them or offer them that's more than that other person over there? Something else to think about. Then there comes training. Do you need some training? Are there some things that you can do to take into the mines? Generic mine induction, that's a really good thing to have. Think about all of the other things that you might need if you went to any job, really. First aid, usually they like to have you already up on your first aid, so make sure that you get all of those kind of basic courses that you can do in any town through a training provider. And lastly, you want to be realistic about what you're going for in the mines. So there's no point going for a job as a tradesman when you haven't even done the apprenticeship or even halfway through it. You need to be realistic, you need to be honest, you need to understand that if you don't have the skills that they're asking for, they're likely to say, no, sorry. But at the same time, it doesn't hurt to apply for a job that you're not quite 100% trained for. So there we go, guys. I hope I've been of some help on the what, where and how of the mining industry, how to get in. Some basics there that hopefully have helped you out, give you a few more tips to try and get into the mining industry. I'd also like to say thanks to Torqn, and if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe, and also you can go over and get me on Chilling with Keithy. If you want to chat with me one-on-one, you can chat there. You can also use the chat down below in this video if you want to have a bit more of a broad chat. Maybe some people from the industry will come in. That's where Torqn is also a good thing. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate your time. Take care and let me know how you go. See you later.